I gotta catch y'all live tonight too.
It don't matter.
Just really brief.
I'm about to mute that. Hold on.
Hey, hey, I don't know who's on. What's up? What's up? If y'all see what we're talking about, we're gonna be talking about correlating submission and providing to actions and character. So go and share the live while you're on. Tag some people in. If you've been on before, you know how we do.
Yeah. What's up, boy? Yeah, I'm just playing with my dog right now. We just
Yeah, I
chilling.
heard it barking.
Yeah. Yeah. Say hi to the camera. He ain't worried about the camera. He trying to play.
All right, all right. Like I said, we can be on about 30 minutes or so. We ain't gotta be on long. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So for
Okay.
those of you guys that are tuning in, hopefully you saw the topic in the caption. Again, tag somebody in. We talking about submission and providing. We're not gonna be on here long. It's a really random live, and then he's going live in like a couple of hours with his crew, the Platy Pack. So y'all can
Mhm.
go to Instagram. They'll be live on Instagram and go check them out. Tune in to them. His personal Instagram account is in the caption of this video, so you guys can follow him as you see fit. If y'all caught him on my live before, y'all know his mindset, so y'all know he's direct. He give it to you real and raw. He don't play no games,
Yeah.
and that's what we like. That's the kind of platform we provide. So for those of you guys that could see the screenshot, hopefully you could see it. It's probably distant, but so I made a post maybe a couple of days ago, and it said, "Ladies, every man don't deserve your submission up front, and then fellas, every chick don't deserve you providing for her up front." And then I go on to say, put boundaries in place so you don't get used up and make people earn that side of you. So that was my take, my perception, my view. I posted it on Instagram as well. And my guy Tim got in the comment section. He said his piece on there, in which I agree with his side of it too. So we agreed to just hop on live and kind of
Mhm.
talk about this meme that I made, or this stat that I made. So his response to my post was, so how would that work if they are both looking for something in each other but are holding back? And the thing was with that is he was comparing the character trait of submission and providing to the action trait of submission and providing. Am I correct?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So guys that are on anytime at any moment, you can write your comments or your questions in the section and just kind of speak on submission, speak on providing. What's your thoughts on that about women submitting to the man and the man providing to her without her proving herself or without him proving himself. So y'all can go on and tap in while we have our discussion. Again, we won't be on here too long. This was a very random live. So there are
Yeah.
no extra questions created for this. So we just gonna go with the flow. So Tim, go ahead. I'm gonna just let you break that on down then as to why you made the comment to the post like you did.
Okay. So I made the comment because, well, first off, boundaries are completely necessary. Let's get that out the way. Like that's the main thing. Everybody has to have boundaries. But for me, comparing submission to the ability to provide is a false equivalency because providing is an action. Provide like I can go out and provide for whoever just because. But being submissive, since that's like I guess it's a trigger word now, even though it shouldn't be. It's what's supposed to happen. To me, like the direct comparison to submission and submissiveness is being masculine. And when people say
Say
you
that
need
one
to
more
be
time.
submissive,
I'm sorry. Say that one more time. I'm writing if
okay.
when I'm looking down, it's because I'm writing. I'm writing. So
hmm I said the equivalent to being submissive or the opposite is being masculine. So you can't have masculinity without submission. Like if you're submissive, like the male, like the male parallel is not providing, is being masculine. Just like, and to me, since it's such a trigger word, like being submissive, I guess they think like when you submit to, like when someone says I'm asking you need to be submissive, they automatically think you're trying to oppress them, you know. But it's not about oppression; it's about compliance. Because nobody wants to be in a situation where things are going rough and nobody's seeing eye to eye. And even with that, we cannot see eye to eye. But as a man, my job is to provide, so I'll still provide. But if I'm not getting submission, why am I still there?
Okay. All right. Let me hop in there. Okay. So when you said submit, you said submission should not be compared to or parallel to masculinity or
Providing, no, to providing, but it should be parallel to masculinity because
okay.
those go hand in hand.
Okay. So submission should be parallel to masculinity. It shouldn't be
Hmm.
parallel to providing. Okay. Okay. Um, so I do understand what you're saying with that. The way I worded the post was simply because exactly what you said. It is a trigger word, and a lot of women, because I don't see any men. Not saying that they don't do this, but I do not see any men doing this type of comparison. But I see the women saying, "I'm not submitting to a man if he don't provide or X,
Right.
Y." So my issue with that is that, okay, if that is the case on what submission means, then why should he even provide for you if he don't know if you are able to submit? If
See,
we're
and
going to,
that's
you know what I'm saying? If we're going to
yeah,
do that, it has to go both ways. You can't say I'm not submitting if you're not providing, but then get mad at him if he say, well, I ain't providing if you're not submitting. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so because people
yeah.
do that comparison, that's why I worded the post, you know what I'm saying, the
Mhm.
way I did to get on their level. You know, I
Yeah, but that's
understand it.
I feel like that's catered to the female because
Yeah.
like the correct, like for me, like the direct comparison would be like this: if a girl says I'm not submitting unless you provide, I could say I'm not being masculine unless you listen to me and understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
And that sounds ridiculous. That's stupid.
Very
When
ridiculous.
you use a man and say I'm not going to be masculine, so what I'm gonna be? I'm gonna act like you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a dress like a female. I'm gonna act like a female, and until the right female comes along who's submissive. Come on.
Yeah.
When you use a man, it sounds ridiculous, and that's a direct parallel.
Mm-hmm.
But they
And
don't
he's
want to see
going to
that.
do that. No female is going for that at all. No female is going for that. You're not going to tell me that you're not going to provide for me or be masculine if I don't submit to you. I'm not going for that. So the thing is, why do women do that? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that's why I said when you said your comment, I actually agree with what you said.
Hmm.
The post was for those who actually believe that they don't have to submit unless he's providing.
Yeah.
So, you know, I always trying to bring it from both sides of the fence. And that's why I say, and that's fine. If that's what you believe, that is totally, totally fine. That is okay. I am not here to tell you you're wrong. But I am here to say, if that's what you believe, just be ready for him to also tell you, I ain't providing if you ain't submitting to me. So
Right.
it has to, we got to look at both sides of the fence if we gon' say these things that we're saying. Y'all like the
Hmm.
live, share the live for me, please. Tag some people in, get y'all questions and comments in. P, I'm gonna go ahead and let Tim do that. So P said, I think we need to define what submit is.
Yeah, boy. Just like I said earlier, when people hear the word submission, they think automatically of oppression, and it's not that. I'm not your oppressor. I'm not trying to hold you down. If it like if we're in a relationship, we want to make it work. How will it benefit me to keep you lower than me and struggling? That's more work. Like I'm putting more focus into that I could be putting elsewhere to make us better. So that's a moot point.
Yeah.
Submission isn't. It's not a bad word. It's just pretty much knowing your place. Like in school, the teacher's the teacher. You're submitting to that teacher so they can teach you math or English or whatever. But nobody views it as that because it's your teaching. But that's still assigned. Like that's still submission.
It's submission.
And as far as relationships, when it like boundaries, they're cool, but like how you say, if he's not providing, I'm not submitting. You're putting a stipulation there that makes no sense because if you like that's a habit, that becomes a habit. You're not going to submit if he's not doing that. So when a man actually comes around and does that, you've already been stuck in that way so long. You're masculine. At this point, you're masculine. And no man is really trying to fight with you when he can go find another girl who will listen to him.
Mm-hmm.
So you just did yourself wrong, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So the thing is with submission, what we don't say often, and again, I see this with women. I don't see this with men. We don't understand that submission is willingly yielding yourself to the betterment of whatever that situation is.
Mm-hmm.
And going by that definition, that means men submit just as much as women submit. But we don't have those arguments because only women argue that. Men don't come in saying, I'm not going to provide for you or submit to you, yada, yada, yada. Men don't directly say that. Now, when women bring up submission, then now men get involved in that conversation. But men don't care about none of that. All they care is let's bring peace into this situation. Let's work together. A, B, C, and D. Do our thing. That's it. Mugs
Mm-hmm.
don't care about the word submission. Like women make that much harder than what it has to be. And I'm gonna go back to Joyce. I don't know if she's on here, but Joyce, I totally agree with you. You should not be with a man that you feel you shouldn't be submissive to. Like that's working together. That's being a team. Why are you even with this man if you feel like he ain't even worth your submission? Get out of there then. What you there for?
Facts.
Like you beating up on yourself, like you putting yourself in a situation that and crying wolf. I use this analogy a lot. I haven't used it lately, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, but I say you being with a person that you can't submit to is you seeing a fire blazing, you going and jumping into the fire, and then getting mad because your man cannot pull you out of that fire after you willingly went and jumped into the fire. Like, come on now, we got to be. Hey,
Yeah.
Cal, what's up? And then Tim, I'm gonna let you answer this next one. So she said,
Uh,
does submission? Oh, hold on, I can't see it. Does the submission start when dating, living together, or marriage? When does
so,
providing start? When dating, living together, or marriage?
okay, so submission starts with dating, just like masculinity starts with dating.
Facts.
Like you have to be able to listen. You have to be able to understand the other person. Like all of these things are submission. You have to know when to talk, when to listen, when to lead, when to follow,
Mm-hmm.
because it works hand in hand. Providing starts when you make the commitment to live together because you are actually combining your whole lives. You're combining your finances. And that's really when you need to be submissive
Mm-hmm.
because if you're combining your lives together and you're expecting the man to provide, you have to take a backseat. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Whoever's the breadwinner, they're probably gonna make most of the decisions when it comes to the household.
Yeah.
So you have to take a backseat to that.
Um,
Um,
and
I
I
don't think
do.
marriage matters because it's just marriage is pretty much just dating with paperwork.
So, and this is where a lot of people probably not gonna agree with me yet. Again, when having a conversation with me, I need people to realize that I always think outside the box. I'm not the normal cliches, type chick. I'm gonna throw them questions out there. I'm gonna make you think.
Hmm.
People, I do not agree with. I see a lot of people use submission as well. That's not my husband. I'm not submitting. Okay,
Ridiculous.
I feel like you're dead wrong. You're dead
Hmm.
wrong right there because marriage is not some type of revelation that automatically gives you the tools needed to be the wife or the husband, that you didn't have while you was in a regular relationship. So that mindset in itself it's a dead end. Like you don't do what you want to do while you in the relationship because it's another stat that I hate seeing people say, oh well, I'm single so I'm married. No, baby, you are
Stupid.
single until you join a committed agreement.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that mindset needs to be out the window. You don't just be in a relationship and you don't get to do some of these marriage things and then once you say I do, then God just, he throw his wine down here and you get all this other stuff that comes with what people say marriage is supposed to have. That's a false sense of reality. It don't work like that.
All right. And one thing I like I saw a question was like, when do you know when to be submissive for the right person or something like that was along those lines. And the answer is you don't. You just don't know.
Yeah.
So you have to be you 100% of the time. If you're submissive 100% like percent of the time, and you realize like you have to find that person out, you have to actually be around that person. When you
Mm-hmm.
find out it's not the right person, then it's time for you to go.
Mm-hmm.
If it is, cool, but it's not a switch you could turn on and off.
Mm-mm, at all.
That's I think that's where people like misconstrue it because it's really not that.
I told one of my homeboys, I think society gets a lot of things confused with what's a woman duty and a so-called relationship or wifey duty. So my thing
Hmm.
is with society is that we expect men to provide no matter what their title is. But in the same
Hmm.
breath, we go and tell women, oh, don't submit, that ain't your husband. Oh, don't do this, that ain't your husband. It's like
Mm-mm.
we setting people up to be wrong from jump. And then we wonder why it's not many marriages happening.
Yeah.
You don't
No.
become a wife after the ring is on your finger. You're that beforehand. That's another conversation needs to be had.
Oh yeah.
Dove into that people, ain't ready to have. But
Because
so
they
when
still
our
live with delusion.
YouTuber said conditional submission is not beneficial, point blank, period.
I don't think conditional submission is real because it's conditional. If it comes with stipulations, it's not real.
It's not
That's
real.
like me saying, "I'll be your friend unless you don't give me $50." Then we not friends.
Yeah,
So once you don't give me that money, we not friends. That means we was never friends. I just wanted what I could get out of you.
yeah, yeah. Y'all get y'all questions in. I'm loving the comments. I'm finna try to get to all of y'all comments. We'll probably be on for another maybe 15 minutes and then we logging out. I do want to say, guys, I'm probably going to start doing random Q&As. They won't be as long as my normal panels that I plan with my guests. So it's going to be a time to get y'all in here, get y'all questions, random questions in, comments, so we can kind of have a verbal discussion versus you guys always just reading my posts. You guys don't actually hear me explain things verbally.
Hmm.
So let me go back up to Eddie's comment. It may be too long to put on the screen, but so he said submission comes when there's an understanding. It has to be communicated. Even if you don't like how you're being submissive, it's for the better of your relationship. And you won't make it a problem or argument with doing so, and vice versa.
I like that comment. I like
Yeah.
No, I just seen a comment from April. It says, "How is submission based on providing if a man doesn't start providing until marriage? It's not based on providing. It's mandatory. Submission is mandatory. Just like you expect a man to be masculine, that's mandatory. You expect a man to take charge, that's mandatory.
Yep.
If not, you're gonna be like, oh, he's not a man or he's soft or something. It's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be something unbecoming of a man that you won't think of. Just
Mm-hmm.
like a woman who isn't submissive is unbecoming of a woman, but women don't like to hear that nowadays.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like I'm not trying to deal with somebody who just like me. That don't make no sense, man.
yeah, yeah. And like I said, we're brainwashed. We always want to talk about brainwash or whatever. But we brainwash ourselves. We let society brainwash us. We let our homegirls brainwash us. We let
Hmm.
Hollywood brainwash us. Like we let ourselves be brainwashed with this whole. It's like, again, it's like men have to give everything up front, and women aren't expected to, but women are expected to be white in order to give
Hmm.
everything, and it's not reality. Like, it does not work like that. You
Okay.
gotta
And
prove to this man you're worthy of being wife. Just like, I wouldn't even say he gotta prove to you that he's worthy of being a husband, because ultimately the man is the decision. The man is the one making the decision on if you're gonna be his wife or not. You're not. You're not making that decision. It's left up to him in the end.
mhm. All right, I got a question for you, Brandy.
Yes, sir. Hopefully, I got an
When
answer.
you were okay, yeah, when you were growing up, what was your like your first idea of a relationship? Like what was your first idea of a relationship?
What's my first idea or personal?
Yeah, like when you were growing up, what was your first your first idea of what a relationship was? Like what it looked like?
So to be honest, because of the background I came from, it's a real bad poverty background. I always had
Mm-hmm.
the idea of the false reality of the white picket fence. I was gonna be the
Mm-hmm.
stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home wife. We was gonna have, 2 to 4 kids. He was gonna be the one providing everything. That was that was the idea of the relationship. I didn't have much knowledge of, like I have now with the actual roles. I just knew a
Mm-hmm.
woman gonna stay at home, she gonna cook, clean, take care of the kids, the traditional stuff that most of us getting away from now.
Mm-hmm. And I like that because my ideal relationship, like growing up, was something similar, but like the man provided, but I never figured out how that was gonna work. I would just be like, I'm gonna have 2 kids, I'm gonna have a wife, we're gonna be married, we're gonna have a house.
Hmm.
And I think that's the biggest thing. Like we see what we want based on the media,
Yeah.
but there's no groundwork behind it, which
Yeah,
is what
yeah.
we really need to be learning. Nobody taught us the groundwork behind what goes on.
I'm so
So,
glad you said that. uh
hmm you got something for that?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna come back and let you finish, but I'm glad you said that because that's a small intermission. Um,
Hmm.
that's why we have. I know you can't make it. You and Cal, well, all three of you guys are not in this state, but that's why we are
Hmm.
having a event January 22nd on assets and liabilities in dating, relationships, all of that. Because you're right. Like we have this idea of what we see from the white picket fence or um
Hmm.
Hollywood, but we don't have the tools. We want to talk the tools. Our parents didn't teach us the tools. Our grandparents didn't teach us the tools. Uncles, aunties didn't teach us the tools. And if you go back and look at them, for real, none of them even had the tools.
Hmm.
We're now learning these tools the hard way.
Hmm.
So, but go ahead. I'm sorry. I had to jump in there for that intermission.
No, you good. That was pretty much all I was saying. Like the groundwork has to be laid
Mhm.
before anything. Like you have to understand what it's gonna take. And April has another comment. Yeah, I'm loving these comments
Look,
from
I
April.
was just going to say, I'm going to get to her after I do Cal because he got a couple of questions.
Oh,
Um,
Kyle has some questions.
yeah.
Oh, he on YouTube. He on YouTube.
Apple. And then I'm going to get to April because April, your comment is actually what went along with my original post. And that's why I made the original post the way I did. Ladies, every man don't deserve your submission. Um, or upfront, and man, every woman don't deserve you providing upfront. Because yeah, I do agree. It's levels to all of this. It's levels. You don't just come off the rip giving a 1,000% until a person has
Yeah.
they are worthy of all of that. And then that's why at the end, why I said you got to put a boundary so you don't get used up. But
Ooh. Ah,
oh,
That's tough. I feel like you have to be at a certain point in your life, like, because like how we're talking about vetting people and all this other stuff. Like we're talking like you gotta be around them, get to know them. There are some people who are established; they are comfortable in themselves. Like a man is fully masculine; he knows what he wants. A woman is fully feminine; she knows what she wants. And then they can hit it off, and they married in 6 months. So I don't think like there are levels,
mhm.
but I feel like you already have to come in like a woman has to come in being submissive and feminine. A man
Mhm.
has to come in being masculine.
And
It
see,
has
I
to
think
it has to be that.
for me that this is where we tackling this issue because look at our generation. It's hardly any feminine women. Most of them are masculine. And
Man.
this is why I'm speaking on you gotta it's levels to it because women aren't naturally coming in feminine, they're coming in masculine. So it's so much work to do with getting women to their proper place before you can try to tell a man to be this provider and this head of household and all this that we expect him to be. You got to get the women got to get in line. If you're not in line,
Hmm.
you don't get to have that type of man because then those are the type of men that are being damaged. The good men are being damaged, and then I gotta run across those type of men.
Hmm.
The
And
women
then
that,
that's it's a wrap. It's a wrap at that point.
yeah, the women who that do know how to be feminine, the women that do care and don't care about submitting, the women that knows, hey, just because. I'm letting you have, the leadership over the household don't mean that you think less of me. The women who understand those things, we got to damage men because they done been with all these masculine women who done drug them through the mud.
And okay, this I don't think this. Yeah, I don't think this is controversial.
No.
I feel like people don't understand this point right here. Men and women aren't equal.
No.
I'm not saying men are better than women. I'm not saying women are better than men. I'm just saying men and women aren't equal.
We are not.
And you have to understand that for a relationship to work. You can't do everything like Brandon, you can't do everything I can do. And I can't do everything you can do. You probably can't lift 300 pounds.
No.
And I can't give birth to a child, So I'm not going to try to give birth to a child. I don't even know how that would work. I'm not trying to find out how that would work. Right. But it's just there's differences, but that's what makes us unique, and that's why we need each other.
Yeah. Ooh. Say that one more time for the people in the back and the front.
Our differences are what make us unique, but that's what make us need each other.
Yep.
It's a perfect synergy, If you can't have one without the other.
You can't. No, you absolutely can't. This is another. I don't want to get off into this because it's a separate topic. Of course, a topic that needs to be had, but it's a separate topic. This is why I cringe at seeing women. I'm teaching my daughter to not need a man. I understand the concept. Don't get me wrong. I understand the concept, but it's a toxic concept. It's not right, and it's not okay because the things you are teaching her is very much wrong. Because at the end of the day, when she sits down or whatever it is that she needs, especially with this hard labor and thing like that, she needs a man. Now it may not, she may not have to have a man that she's intimate with. Maybe she have an uncle, a cousin, a brother, a best friend, whatever case. Either way, she still needs a man. So I don't agree with teaching your daughters, or whatever the case, they don't need a man like that. That's a whole toxic mindset, in my opinion.
You raising the people who you like don't want to be.
Oh,
you don't want to run into.
There you go. That part.
That's pretty much just like how like growing up, like they're like single women, they raise boys to be nice and all this stuff. That's not the man they want. They don't want a man to bring you flowers just because it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Come on.
We be lying to ourselves, man. We be lying to ourselves. The minute we have these men that literally do that, we be like, man, that nigga soft. Sorry for those words. That nigga soft. We call those type of men soft. We want a man to rough us up. Like women are so confused these days. But so let me because I don't want to get off for the comments or scrolling up, so I don't want to miss this one. But so Kyle said, and I'm gonna let you answer this. Do you feel there are unwritten rules when it comes to the gender roles in a relationship? If so, what are they, and do they apply to both sexes?
Oh, good question, Kyle. I feel like they're gender roles, but it also depends on the dynamic of your relationship because every relationship is different. There's no fairy tale Disney relationship in real life. Like how women, like they say, women should cook, clean, and all this other stuff. Maybe, but maybe you're the better cook as a man, so you cook, and then she takes out the trash or something. Like there's give and take everywhere. Nothing is gonna be like 100% like movies because movies aren't real.
Thanks. So guys, we do got a couple more minutes, and then we'll be ending the live. Get your questions and comments in if you want. I do want to say his links are in the caption. You want to go follow him on Instagram, and make sure y'all go follow. It's him and a couple other guys. They got a crew called the Platty Pack that will be going live tonight in a couple of hours, I believe, or hour and a half or something like that. So make sure y'all go follow them. They have some pretty good topics. So let me go down to Cozy. So he said, my first idea of a relationship was just to try and like somebody and fall in love. Hey, that's real though. It was that simple. Yeah. I saw marriages break up, singles, etc. So my reality was just to try to create my own thing.
And I understand that because that's how I was. Like it was just like, dang, she looked good. I can see myself with her. But once again, there's no foundation behind that. You just like, well, maybe I want to. Like there's nothing behind that. But you learn better through experience, actually living
Always,
life.
always. I tell people, like, I try to give off the things I've learned through experience, but I also I I'm more wiser and logical than a lot of women are. So it's a lot of things I don't even
Hmm.
need to learn through experience. I learn through observation. Like you know, if you run a red light 3 times and you've been in an accident all 3 times, I don't need to run a red light to know that it's a possibility I'm gonna get in an accident. You know, I saw you do
Right.
it 3 times. So, you know, some things don't have to be learned by experience, but majority of them I do believe um it has to be learned through experience because people are hard-headed. Humans are hard-headed.
Yeah.
We want what we want. We It was a trend going, these red flags trend. We would know all the red flags and still go wave them in the air like it's fun. Like, you know, it's like, so people
Yeah.
gotta learn through experience a lot of times because we just hard headed and we want what we want.
But even with the red flag trend, that's ridiculous. Because you focus on what not to look for, meanwhile bypassing what you should look for.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's there's so many good qualities. Like maybe somebody is doing one of those things, like a
Mm-hmm.
red flag that you're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I can't get with you because of that. Why not? I can work on that. Just like you have red flags. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you're constantly working on yourself, so you can't just dismiss somebody for some little stuff. Now
Yeah.
if they're like a habitual cheater or something, yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I get you.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
all had our moments, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We've all had our moments where we come short of some stuff, but it's life is just about growth. So.
Yeah. So, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get off in a minute. I'm gonna read Cozy's comment as a last comment. Then Tim, I'm gonna let you get the flow and say your piece
Hmm.
before we get out. So Cozy said gender roles exist beyond preference a lot of times. A lot of people debate this because they feel less or overused. In reality, they exist. A robber comes,
Hmm.
the man. A robber comes in, the man goes to look. Moving day, the man doesn't carry the lamp. Hold on, somebody commented and moved it up. My bad.
Yeah, I saw that too. I saw
On
that too.
moving day, the man doesn't carry the lamp while the woman gets the couch. A man cuts the
Hmm.
grass more often than a woman, while a woman may wash clothes more often than a man. It's the natural balance we have. The problems exist from people being minimized and devalued. I definitely like
I
that
agree
very
with
last
that.
part of it too.
Hmm.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of people are minimized. The things they do, they are minimized and devalued. So it is tough to, I don't know. I feel like gender roles do exist. I think there needs to be balance. And I think
Yeah,
with gender roles, there needs to be room for growth. There needs to be room for change. So I'm not saying get rid of all gender roles, but I am saying some of the way of thinking because life has been moving and changing, reality has been moving and changing. Some of our thinking about gender roles need to start moving and changing as well, so we can keep up with the flow of life.
I agree.
Um, so do you want to tackle April comment or just go ahead and close out?
I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. Then I'm gonna close
Okay.
out. So, come on. This is how the discussion of submission is done. See a lot of men talking about wanting a submissive mate, but when looking at their ways, they're not coming from a place of love. Maybe speaking out of hurt. Believe me, the better leader you are, the easier it is for a woman to follow you. This is true. That I do agree with that. But when women are already looking for you to be completely put together, like you might still need to build yourself up a little bit. She might dismiss it because she says you're not a leader, just because you're missing one or two qualities.
Mhm.
And that's not bad. And okay, let me look at this again. That's how submission's done. So she says men are not coming from a place of love. I feel like it's hard. Like, okay, I
But
feel
but
like women love first, but men love harder.
but do women even come from a place of love though? Let's
No, it
do
depends.
women?
It depends. It depends on really where they're coming from. Because most times women come from a place of manipulation,
Mm.
almost like how they want men to be masculine. They want men to approach them, men to like court them and all this other stuff. But let's say we're at a club and you see a dude over there. They're not going to come up to that dude. What a woman's going to do is they might look at you from across the room, and if they don't catch your eyes, they're gonna come over and put themselves in your vicinity so you see them. Like it's all about manipulation. They're trying to manipulate the space so they get in your way so you see them and you make the approach when all they gotta do is just come up and talk to you. It could be so like Warren Hill said, it could all be so simple, but you rather make it hard. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like that could be from both sides. But going back to when I said women love first, but men love harder,
Hmm.
like since men are taught not to deal with their emotions, more times than not, they don't know how to show love, but they show it through providing and taking care of you. It's not like I'm gonna be affectionate, I'm gonna be all over you all the time.
Hmm.
Because to me, that's real emotional. That's what women do. But
Yeah.
I show I care for you by the actions I take. Like I'm making sure the house is taken care of. You
Hmm.
have everything you need in the fridge. Yeah, we'll go out every once in a while because I know that's what you want. But I'm not gonna. I'm not the type to be like, oh baby, I love you 24/7. Like no,
Yeah. Yeah.
no.
That's that Disney stuff. You know what I'm saying? That we've created as
Uh,
in our head. Like this is what we saw back in the Disney cartoons and all that, and it's a preconceived misjudgment of how men are actually supposed to
mm-hmm.
be. Um, so I'm weak. Cozy Cozy
I see
said
that. He's right. He's 100%
he's
right.
right though. He's right. He's right. So Cozy said women come from a place of be what I want and shit. We'll see what I want to do with you. But that's that manipulation you was talking about because that's exactly
Mm-hmm.
what it is. I'm gonna give you enough of whatever it is to get you, but then after that, I don't know. I might do something else. I might, depending on what what else you show me, and that's a
Right.
that's the wrong approach. Going back to April stuff though, I do want to say I believe a lot of people may disagree with me on this, but I personally believe that when I see women say a woman will submit to a man who knows how to lead her. And I believe that's false because
Honey.
how first of all, how do you get to tell him how to be a leader, but he can't tell you how to submit? So how do
Exactly. You got to
you
tell that little man to calm down. If she wanna be led, tell that man to calm down so she can be led.
like if a woman will submit if you lead her properly is the little post I be seeing a lot. And I be reading that in the comments and I'm like, y'all all lying. Y'all all lying.
Hmm.
Because how do you even know what a real man supposed to lead like? But you don't know what a woman
Oh,
do with submission.
oh my goodness. Oh my. I'm glad you said that because that's another thing that bothers me. Women know what a like. Most of these women, they be like, I want a real man. Blah blah blah. Most of these women grow up in a single parent household where it's just a mom, and they telling a man how to be a real man when they've never seen a real man be a real man.
I'm gonna even go and take it like this. They never
Oh,
even seen their mama submit. So how you
yeah,
even know that this
because she
man
she
is
has to
leading?
be in her masculine to raise those kids. She
Yeah,
has to be.
yeah, yeah. So it's a vicious cycle that we don't realize, right, April? We don't realize teamwork makes the dream work. Like you talking
Hmm.
about I submit when he learned to lead. How do you even know what men's leadership look like when you don't even know what women's submission looks like?
Hmm.
Come on now. You try
Right.
to tell a
And you
man he can't tell you nothing about some men, but overall you want to tell him how his leadership's supposed to go.
right. And with that, like if you want a man to lead you, you have to give him the opportunity to actually lead. Like it might not be the conventional way that you see in your mind, but
Mhm.
if he's getting things done and he's producing results, that's all that matters.
Yep. Yeah, and it goes back to what Joyce said at the very beginning of live. First of all, if you feel like he a person you can't submit to, why are you even there, sweetheart? Why are you even there? And so
Mm,
those type of women I don't sympathize or empathize with too much because I was telling somebody today we put ourselves in a lot of positions that we shouldn't even be in, and then we cry wolf when the man plays us or whatever the case is. Like, why are you even with this man if you don't feel like you can be feminine or moving your feminine energy with this man? Why do you feel like why are you with him if you feel like you got to control him or see
hmm.
what he's doing, go through the phone and all? Like, why are you even with the man then? Get out of there.
I have a theory for that, but I feel like that could be a whole nother topic because I feel like
It probably
women who
should
do
be.
that, the women who do that are masculine themselves and they're trying
Oh
to be feminine, but with like when they're like they might come off as feminine as first, but then that masculinity is just going to keep coming out and coming out and coming out, and then when the man starts saying that, it pushes him away, and so he does start looking.
So you can't hear me? Oh,
it disconnected or something. It sounds like it's really, really faint. So it sounds like it disconnected.
can you hear me now? Hold on.
So while he get his audio together, I'm gonna go back to so P says she doesn't necessarily have to
Yeah.
be in her masculine to raise her kids. And I agree, she don't necessarily have to be in that, but a lot of women operate in that.
Yeah. Can you hear
Because
me now?
yeah, you good. Yeah, you good.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead. Continue. I'll
Yeah.
finish after.
Because a lot of women don't know how to move in femininity. They don't know that their power, they have way more power in their femininity than they do in moving in masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
So they raise their kids in that energy. But I agree, you don't necessarily have to raise them in masculine energy, but a lot of them do.
Yeah. And I think the result of that is because like the reason they raise them like that is because they're overwhelmed. Like the job of raising kids should not be done by one person.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like they tend to raise their children like that. But back to what I was saying, like a woman who was like she's masculine, but she presents herself as feminine with manipulation again to get the guy. And when she gets the guy, her true self starts showing, and that masculinity starts coming out.
Yeah.
And then when he sees that, it pushes him away.
Yeah.
And when it pushes him away, he starts looking elsewhere for that femininity,
Yeah.
and that creates a rift. And I know that like that's not right, but if you really want it to work with that person, that might just be a byproduct. Like you're doing the wrong thing because you want it to work, but you don't know what's going on because she's being masculine, but that's not who you thought it was.
Because we say men bring their representative all the time, and that's true, but women do it too. Women bring a representative up front too. They do whatever they need to get, like you said, it's manipulative. They do whatever they need to get chose, and then the real them comes out. I seen
Yeah.
a post that says, you man talking about he wasted your time, but he didn't. He got to know you and he didn't like what he saw. So he moved on. So that's that thing right there. It's like women will manipulate to get what they want, and then your real you comes out, and now you mad thinking talking about he used you, but he didn't. He didn't like the real you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to go ahead and talk, because we already over, if you want to go ahead and talk a cozy comment, I'm gonna let you do that and then give your last words.
Yeah, yeah. I get where he's coming from. He said strength should be strength, but is it really like I don't raising kids? I don't really see that as strength. I see that as a responsibility because that's what you're supposed to do. You're not strong just because you have to raise kids on your own. Like if somebody's not, if they don't want to do their part, that's on them. But those kids didn't ask to be here, so you have to do that. That's not strength. That's responsibility. But yeah, like women, yeah, they do a lot because most of these, like most single parent households, are brought up by women. So yeah, they do a lot. They are soft, but like I said, it's overwhelming, and you can't express that to your kids because you always have to provide for them. And when you're overwhelmed, you might lash out because you don't have time to deal with your own emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be a lot. Like if your kids mess up, like I got kids, and sometimes when my son like he starts acting up because he's two, he doesn't understand anything. It's hard for me to deal with, but I have to remember he's just a kid.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing I can do about that. He's just a kid, and he that has to be here. So I just got to suck it up and deal with it.
Mm-hmm. And I said I was gonna let you close out. I really, really am after this. Let me say this. One last thing, and then we out because we was only supposed to be on 30 minutes. We hitting on 45. But what I'm gonna say to that is women, we are very stubborn, and we don't like people to tell our kids what to do, and we don't like people to tell
Mm-hmm.
us how to raise our kids. So a lot of the trouble and the hardship that we going through, a lot of it is on us because we don't allow help in. We feel like the man needs to do what he needs to do, the dad needs to be there, et cetera, in which they are right. The dad
Mm-hmm.
does. But the truth of the matter is you can't make another human do what you want them to do. So if he isn't willing, there's no point in steadily beating him up, making posts about it, doing all this extra stuff to blast him, and then you're still overwhelmed. The same way you use your words in your mouth to blast him and tell everybody your business, use your words in your mouth to go ask a family member for help. So go ask a so-called, if this is your real friend, go ask them for help. Hey, I need a break. Like, I'm tired of these kids. Can y'all get them? Like, open up. And then not only that, like I said, women don't let other people tell their kids what to do. It's almost like, well, this is my child. You're not going to tell me how to raise it. Okay, well, that's why you're doing everything by yourself. Because you don't want nobody to say nothing to your kid. And then you don't want certain people to, you know what I'm saying, discipline them or tell them no when you tell them yes for everything. We got to get out that mindset. But yeah, go ahead and close on out. And I thank you for coming on to the live, y'all. Like I said, I'll be doing 30-minute Q&As in the future, probably once a month, maybe twice a month. I don't know yet. But yeah, go, and then don't forget to go to Instagram to the Platy Pack, because they will be going live in about an hour and a half. So y'all go tune in with them. So go ahead, Tim, close us out.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Well, having us, because like it might just be me right now, but I'm still part of the Platy Pack. It's me, P, and Kyle. So if y'all want to hear some more content, because the topic we got tonight is based on loyalty, and that's on IG. So if y'all got IG, tune into the Platy Pack. 8 o'clock Eastern time, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. Please tune in with us, because I guarantee you it's going to be more of this.
Yeah.
Put your comments in the post. Ask y'all questions again. We got y'all. We turning up this year. Hopefully you will see more of us on Brandy's channel as well.
Hopefully, yeah. I wish I was here, man. I would love to do in person. I feel like the in-person stuff hits so much different.
We was talking about that too. We was all trying to get together and just like have a sit down type joint.
Man, that would be so fire. I swear to God. These conversations, I always say, these conversations are so much needed. They are needed like decades ago. But, you know, now's the time to have them. Find people that's with the like mind that want to have them, and let's run. But yeah, so we will see y'all on Instagram at 7 o'clock. We'll see y'all on Instagram to watch their live. And then I'll see you guys on another random live whenever I feel like hopping on.